Welcome back to Metal of Honour. I'm Yidna. This video is going to show you how I sharpen two flat scorpers, a 90-degree scorper and a little bonus tool on the end as well, just while we're in the sort of sharpening mode. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and it's quite straightforward, but there's a few people that have asked to see a video of like how I actually sharpen these. But yeah, especially seems though I use these tools quite a lot in like previous videos, so it is only fair that I show you how to do these probably quite early on like this. I'll probably do more in-depth ones as like months go on, but this is definitely a good starter, and I hope you enjoy it. Any questions you have about these, please write below, and I generally, especially being such a small channel and only a few comments, I generally reply to all comments. But yeah, thank you. Please enjoy. Yeah, so starting off, I use like various brands of the tools. Like you can see this one's a Velour number 6. This one's a GRS, like the QC41, which is slightly wider, flat. It's normally good to have a mixture, and of course I forgot about the just the spit stick or like knife edge. And it's one of like the more ongulate ones, so it's got the curved sides rather than the straight sides. But I'll talk you through all these things. But you know when your tool needs resharpening, because it will just slide off your nail. As soon as the tool slides, that's when you're holding something, that's when it's just going to go straight through into your knuckles. You can see this one, I'm generally holding at about a 45-degree angle. And I won't even keep at that sort of angle. It doesn't matter, anywhere between sort of 45 and sort of 60 degrees maybe, but it all works. Whatever you sharpen them as, you just get used to that angle. For this part, when you actually sharpen it, you actually get a little burr on the end. There's like a little bit of swarf on the very tip, so you normally stab it into like a piece of wood. On this occasion I've just used a bit of softwood at the end of a buff stick, but really you could do with actually just stabbing it underneath your bench. That's the best way to get around it. And this is a 2000 grit emery board, and just it's more keeping your elbow where it is and just finding your place to polish it. But as soon as you've done that, you do the nail test, and you'll just feel that bit of resistance. It just wants to sort of like hold there. So that's when you, like I say, that's when you know that it's ready to resharpen. You know, it's so dangerous. You will go straight to the bone. That's probably where I've got the most scars on my hands from jewellery making, from tool slips. And see this one, just to mix it up, I have done a lower angle. So this is probably like narrower than a general 45 degrees. So again, as soon as you've done that bit, first thing into a little block of wood, just to scrap somewhere. Now this did actually take it off, but if you stab it into the bottom of your bench or press it into the bottom of your bench, you've only got to do it a couple of times. It's not like a repeated go over of it, you know. And again, on 2000 grit paper, you just polish that back, polish the actual like the underside of it. Now this, just to mix this one up so it's extra shiny and extra smooth, this has got some diamond powder. It's actually a GRS one. I think there's a few people that do them, but just on a little bit of old leather belt, just putting it on. And if you sort of do it so you can't see me actually doing it the curve bit as much, but yeah, you'll stroke it so it comes flat and comes back. You see, there might be some videos, you also see me do like the face as well. It'll help like it'll help for the shine and the curve. You see me sort of doing that bit more of a curve up now. But some people, when they're doing their flat scorpers or even their 90-degree scorpers, they will actually put a heel on it, and that's not a bad thing to do. If you've got a power hone, but one of that spinning diamond plate that you put it on gently, it's easier to achieve. But when you haven't got one of those, just a slight little up curve works magic. That's mainly for getting around the curves and not leaving drag marks in the metal. But I'll go more into that when I actually do like an engraving or stone setting demo for like grain setting. As you can see, that's 5 carats, half micron. It's quite a useful thing, and it's not that expensive. But I generally just sort of tap out a little bit onto the belt, especially that first time using. Then just like a little droplet of water on top, and just sort of manoeuvre it about until it gets on there. But the more you use it on that same bit of leather belt, the more it sort of embeds itself in there. So like, you won't often have to put more diamond powder on it. I think I've put diamond powder on that piece of belt probably twice. You know, it just embeds itself. It doesn't go anywhere. It just stays there, and it's very handy. It's very handy, but not essential. You can just do it that same previous way, but the extra shine does help when it comes to platinum and palladium. So you can see the knife edge. Generally these I'll use for cutting the border around when I'm stone setting, when I'm doing a bit of grain setting. And again, similar angle. You could go super pointy and shallow, or even stiffer. Whatever you sharpen it to, as long as you've got a sharp point and it's shiny and polished, you'll just naturally adapt to that without question. I say that there'll be people that have been stone setting for years that will watch how I do this and be like, oh no, I don't do mine like that at all, and that is completely fine. So it'll be the same as a lot of things that I do. There'll be another jeweller that's been doing it an equal amount of years, completely different, and it works for them, and they get a nice, as long as you both get the same nice crisp finish or tool that works in the same way at the end, it's absolutely fine. There's not a super right or wrong way in a professional sort of setting. It's only like when you're beginning, there's certain ways that will just make your life so much easier. But yeah, but you can see a lot of this is a quick video, and this is all sort of real time, nothing sped up or slowed down. It's simply as you see it now. It's that simple. So of course this tool is a little bit damp just from that moisture, but sort of dried off. You can see that even this one, it just has that bit of resistance on the fingernail. So as well as those other two previous ones, these sort of GRS blanks are the ones that are already cut down with the backs already thin, so you can just put it straight in, either a quick change sort of release in a GRS mushroom handle with the thermo lock, or these ones that are like the real traditional ones. These are actually my favourite. Okay, so when it comes to actually grinding down the point, things like the HSS tools that are all there, you can just go on a normal spinning grinder, as long as you don't blue the tool and have a jar of water to keep it cool. But that first one of those diamond wheels that I threw away is literally just a diamond coated, so it will wear down. Whereas this one, these are the more expensive ones, but these are sintered, and these have got diamond all the way through. And this one is my 90-degree scorper that I'll use for all my shaping when I'm engraving. So if I'm leaning to make the line wider, I'll use it all with this. And these are the tungsten carbide, and these ones I'll buy. You can buy them blank from the sellers, not the wholesalers. But these ones I just buy like a 12-inch, 2.4mm square rod, and just diamond this to cut sections out and shape them. But these are the ones that your spinning stone wheel will not touch these. So you need the diamond wheels to polish these, and because it's carbide and like the tungsten, you need a face mask on. Obviously I wear a face mask all the time and all the safety PPE, but for anyone watching this, I wear it all the time. But yeah, so these rubber wheels are also sintered as well. They can really vary in price, but the green one's the firmest, the bluish grey one's the medium, and the yellow one is the super smooth. If you're sharpening some of the tools for the first time, you will just go work your way down the grades, but because this one was only being trimmed a little bit, I'll do the main face on this straight into the yellow diamond rubber wheel, like rubber reflex wheel, but with the diamond sintered. And you see, before I spin it, I'll actually lay the flat onto the disc before I spin, just to make sure I'm holding it right. And then as I speed it up, I'll actually sort of stroke just down to put a curve. So even this is going to be completely curved underneath as well, just enough to get a nice. I can explain more when I'm actually doing the actual engraving, but it's for when you're leaning and doing certain edges, for like sculpting certain shapes out of the metal, or even just a simple line circle. It just helps not get drag marks, which I'll be able to explain. But yeah, once you've done both the actual base, both the bottom parts, this is where you spin it up the other way and just do the face. But you'll notice when that's spinning, that is literally going into the direction that it's spinning. So if you hold it too steep, it will just. You already see like a few times when it's happened on my wheel where it's a little bit worn out. I need to replace that really. But yeah, it's it's as long as you follow how I did that there, you'll be good. So this is a little bonus one for you. This is one just a tungsten ball burr. I think it was a 1.2mm round. You know it's the tungsten bush burrs because they got the little yellow ring around them. And from where my fingernail is now, that little top area is actually grey, and that's where the tungsten tip bit is. So just on a normal diamond disc wheel, as long as you're turning it nice and even, you can just get a nice point on it as it is. So this little bonus tool is to make a scriber. It's like the world's sharpest scriber, you know. If you wanted to make it a similar thing to this, there's like for pinning, when you're doing rub overs or gypsy set, you could just do it a bit more curved over at the same thing. So this is onto the green wheel, which you can see hasn't got much flex. It's very solid. But yeah, as long as you're turning that at the same time, you're all good. Then onto the grey one, just get it a little bit smoother. Then finally just onto the other, onto the yellow smooth one. And these make the nicest little scribers for detail. Yeah, like every tool's got its use, but I've got various levels of sharpness on these. So I use a different variety of these ones. Like I say, for like pinning, gypsy set and invisible set, they're very useful. What I mean is that it's good to have like a blunt one as well. But being that the tips of those are all tungsten carbide, they stay so sharp, really sharp. And if you've got a TIG welder like what I've got, you can even put them onto the end of your verniers to create new points, because you can, especially on the digital ones, you can press where you want the 0. You can place them together so you get like the sharpest set of verniers for marking out. Yeah, that's a little bonus one. I say, whenever you have a tool that breaks or snaps or the little fins come off the ball burrs, just keep hold of them. Be a hoarder. Don't throw anything away. There will always be a time that you find it useful. But yeah, I hope you found that video useful. Any comments or questions, please put down below. But yeah, apart from that, thanks for watching. Take care.